Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. We have some of the changes on the front lines, however those are quite minor. Let's go to the Kupiansk where Ukrainian forces go on counterattack against the Russian army, and we were successful the last time. So it was before and now it is like that. This area is covered with green color. It means that we took it quite a long time ago. Kupiansk is far behind the front lines already, and Ukrainian army is getting ready to attack this area. And for us, the main thing is to cut this road over here that leads to Svatova. And also Svatova is one more point for our counterattack. Probably we're gonna get it from the south as well. So basically we are moving from two directions, from north and from the south. However, Russia, as you can see this red arrow over here, they're trying to do their best to resist our counterattacks. And recently they went to Makivka, they took part of the village. However, they were unable to cross this river over here. You can see that there is some spot where they crossed the river, but my friends, it's just a map correction. Actually, Russian forces are across that shore on the right hand side. This river is very thin, but still it's the natural obstacle that is not allowing Russian forces to go to this area. And we're gonna push them stronger. For now, we're waiting for the Western weapons, new supplies of artillery systems and armored vehicles. Mainly we use armored vehicles for the fast blitzkriegs and cut Russians, small groups of the Russian army, and then we move across their defense lines. And they are not building huge defense lines in that area. They're building the Wagner line over here in the border between Lugansk and Donetsk regions. And Russia tries to reach Bakhmut, my friends. So they already crossed this river over here. They went to Opitna. Let's go to the timeline before. So it was like that a couple of days ago. And they went to that village. However, they are unable to take this village under full control. And our forces continue to fight. But here in the city, it would be absolutely impossible for them to cross this river over here in the Bakhmut city itself. That is why they crossed it here in a very thin area, and now they're trying to reach the Bakhmut city from the south. So basically they are attacking from Bakhmutska village, they are attacking from this way, M03 road, and also from the south. However, Ukraine was able to build defense line in Bakhmut city itself, and that's why Russia wasted lots of their soldiers in this area. On the north side, we push them back and there is no longer a threat, at least for now. So two of the vectors continue to present the threat for our army in Bakhmut city. About the Kherson region on the south, my friends, no big changes there. However, from the political perspective, Russia evacuated everything from Kherson, and today they removed even the Russian flag from the government building. So they say that they are retreating from the territory, but unofficially we know that they move more forces to that area. They have around 30,000 soldiers there. They used to have around 20, now 30. So we are not speaking about the evacuation of the Russian army anymore. And our officials say that Russia wants to create the trap for Ukrainian army in Kherson, saying that we're gonna retreat, just move to Kherson, we are waiting for you there. For Ukrainian army, obviously, it's important to get the Kherson city under control, but it's better not to rush and concentrate our actions on destroying the Russian supplies and ammunition depots in that area. Russian army cannot attack in this region, that's why little by little we're gonna remove them from that region, but not as fast as everyone expected. For example, today we took this Kalinovsk village. It's not yet confirmed on this military map, but we have some of the evidence provided on the Telegram channels that the Ukraine army went to that place. And now, my friends, let's go to the latest news and events. Sorry, my friends, I have to correct myself right away. So Ukrainian army took not the Kalinovsk village on the north part of the Kherson region. We took Malasey Duminuha, which is very close to that village. That is why I was kind of confused, and Ukrainian soldier put the Ukrainian flag on one of the buildings that remained stayed in that region. Great news, some of the Ukrainian soldiers were exchanged and many of those were defending Azovstal and Mariupol city. Now they are back in Ukraine and will meet their families very soon. There are numerous reports that Iran is going to start the war against Saudi Arabia, and Germany calls their citizens to leave Iranian territory as fast as possible using all of the possible transport means. I'm kind of concerned about it, my friends, and Saudi Arabia is the military ally of United States of America, and I think United States would defend Saudi in that case. It's interesting how everything changes in our global world, and now you may say that Israel is the ally of the Saudi Arabia against the Iran. Obviously, Israel will not defend Saudi Arabia, but they may target some of the targets on Iranian territory. In that way, helping also themselves because they are also the enemy for Iran, but in such a way, Israel may help Saudi Arabia. And still, I would not like to see one more conflict to spark in our planet, my friends. It's better to avoid the war and to replace the Iranian government with all of those protests that are ongoing. Probably that is why Iran is looking for some sort of the war, because they need to deflect the attention of their own people. Basically, they think to throw their people to that hell of the war. This guy's surname is Trema Usav, and he was put as a deputy governor of Kherson region by the Russian occupied forces, and he is, you see, with all of the belongings in his car, fleeing Kherson, saying that situation is controllable, but I have to leave with all that I have from Kherson region, and I alert you to leave Kherson and move out from the place, but the situation is controllable. And they filmed it also for the propaganda channels, for the Russian media, saying that Russian army is leaving. But as I say to you, actually Russia moved more forces to that region, and now they want Ukrainian army to send more reinforcements to that area and to continue massive counterattack. In that way, they may cause us severe losses. This is kind of funny. Putin said that they resumed their grain deal to provide food supplies from Ukrainian ports because the Ukraine side guaranteed that we're not gonna attack Russian ports any longer with drones or any kind of military. But our officials say that we didn't guarantee anything, and this deal includes Turkey side, United Nations and Russia. It's clearly a lie from Putin himself. Greece president and minister of defense arrived to Kiev today. Awesome. Recently, the North Korea increased their activity using their rockets. They fired those near to the South Korea, near to Japan, and recently there was alert in Japan of the possible missile attack from the North Korea. Just look at this this guy. He's just funny and ugly at the same time. By the way, the North Korea is the only country that recognized the annexation of Ukrainian territories by the Russian Federation. The Instagram of Valery Zaluzhny, the military commander of Ukrainian forces, was hacked today, and basically they were just his family photos, nothing official. His private Instagram was hacked. Well, I think it's better to use some of the VPN services. I do recommend Atlas VPN. So this is not advertisement for this video. However, I say as it is, it may help in that case. The device may be reached then you use the public Wi-Fi services. So without alert system, special alerts that installed for the VPN, you can simply lose some of your data. So President of Greece announced that they will never recognize the annexation of Ukrainian territory by the Russian Federation. They also support Ukraine on the way to join the European Union and NATO. They provide the BMP-1 supplies to the Ukrainian army, and they also support the international court against the Russian Federation. Awesome. This kind of funny picture, two of the dictators who threatened the world by nuclear weapons. And today, Lloyd Austin, the chief of the Pentagon, said that if the North Korea would use the nuclear weapons, nothing would left from their regime. And also from the public resources of United States, we know that the same warning God Putin. G7 countries will help Ukraine to go through this hard winter. We'll have more supplies of generators and heating equipment, some of the pumps to pump the water just through the buildings to make our life better. I hope it's gonna be like that, but it's impossible to help everyone. Obviously, we have more than 30 million people in Ukraine, so it's kind of hard, my friends. And now I'm thinking to send my wife and my daughter abroad because I do afraid that this winter could be hard for my family, for me personally, but I still gonna stay here and just gonna send my wife elsewhere because it's just unsafe to be here this winter. The General Secretary of the NATO Alliance, Jens Stoltenberg, asked Turkey to sign the application for Sweden and Finland to join NATO. He said that Finland and Sweden follow all of the requirements from the Turkish side. Switzerland again rejects the German request to provide ammunition for Gepard tanks for Ukrainian side. So if there was no war in Ukraine, Swiss would agree to send those ammunitions. But if there is the war in some kind of the country, Switzerland goes for neutrality state. Still, as Ukrainian, I think we should not complain. Switzerland helps a lot to our refugees. They also send humanitarian help to Ukraine. Yes, it's their neutral policy and all of the world knows about it. They didn't participate even in the Second World War. This guy is one of the main Ukrainian volunteers. His name is Sergei Pertula. He's ex-comedian in different genre compared to Zelensky, but still he is a great guy. And he managed to collect funds to buy 60 of the armored vehicles and deliver them to Ukrainian army. He spent a little bit more than 1 day to collect around $6 million for that. And I also participate the donation. Almost every Ukrainian participates the donation with a little sum, with a big sum. Doesn't matter. Then this guy announced that we collecting funds for Bayraktars, for satellites even, and this time for 60 BTRs and other armored vehicles. They will be delivered to Ukrainian army very soon. So awesome job done by Ukrainian volunteers. And those armored vehicles are mostly British-made Spartans, kind of small vehicles, and it's already getting muddy. It's late autumn, soon it's gonna be winter, so we need armored vehicles that have caterpillars. Interesting, but Cambodia will train our forces to the mine fields. As you probably know, there was a long war in Cambodia for almost 30 years, and for some time Cambodia was the most mined country in the world. So they know how to deal with that stuff, and they will provide instructors for Ukrainian army. Awesome. My friends, it's just terrible. The owner of the Sevastopol Delphinarium is the water park where you may see dolphins and other water creatures. He simply dropped all of the dolphins to the Black Sea. He said that he simply doesn't have enough money to support those dolphins. And what they do, they just hire those men and they just throw those dolphins in the Black Sea, but those dolphins will not survive there because they used to humans and they used to the feeding, usual feeding by fish, and being in a sea during the winter time. There are different dolphins that live in the Black Sea, not those kind of dolphins, so they will not survive 100%. So what they're doing, they're just on the shore there and screaming for help. Dolphins are very smart creatures, and it's just terrible. I was in that place, in this water park. It was a fantastic place, but now I think the owner is different, and what they do is total... I don't have words to describe that. Yeah, just to remind you, Sevastopol is the occupied city by the Russian occupiers. What they do there is terrible. And this is Moscow Funeral Exhibition. Interesting. It's not the Halloween party or something. It's a real exhibition where you may those are dolls, not real. So for YouTube, it's do not ban my video. Those were dolls. So cakes with the crosses. kind of trending products for the Russian mobilized soldiers. Some of the insights were published by the Times, and they say that the decision to invade Ukraine was taken by two men, Patrushev and Bortnikov, basically the FSB, the Russian intelligence service, and the Secretary of the National Defense. So two of those guys collaborated and they asked Putin to start this massive war in Ukraine. And also this article says that the vast majority of the Russian elite didn't know about the preparing of that attack, and they understood that just before it happened on 21st February, 3 days before attack. So a very small circle was involved, and United States knew about that information. It means that United States have their own spies very close to the body of the Russian Tsar. New update was released for today. So my friends, we took this village over here, Malasey Deminiha. So Deminiha, I hope I spelled it correctly. It's hard to read on Latin letters. So I expected that we took this one, but no, we took this small village over here. So just a minor frontline correction. And also what I see that we took this part over here, Berestove. It's under Ukrainian control, and we are moving closer to H26, actually taking that road that goes on the way to Svatova. Awesome job from our forces. As for the Russian move, I just don't see any movement in that area. So my friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation here in Ukraine. If you want to support this channel, just press the like button. It helps me a lot. If you want to help me financially, there are some of the links in the video description. You may support me on PayPal, Patreon, or Donatello, whichever is more convenient for you. My friends, I wish you a peaceful sky wherever you are. Have a great time.